Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in every life when you realize something terrifying and empowering at the same time. Time is the only weapon every human being is given equally. Some waste it, some fear it, but a rare few learn to wield it, sharpen it, turn it into the unstoppable force that shapes their destiny. Today, I want you to become one of those rare few. Time is not just passing, it's either pushing you forward or pulling you under. Every sunrise is a chance, every hour is a tool, and every minute is a blade that can cut through excuses, limitations, and doubt if you choose to use it with purpose. You don't need more resources. You need more resourcefulness. You don't need more hours. You need more intention. You don't need a perfect plan. You need the courage to start now. When you treat time as your weapon, you stop negotiating with your potential. You stop waiting for the right moment. You stop giving your power away to distractions, fear, and hesitation. Instead, you rise with urgency, you move with clarity, and you strike with consistency. Every moment becomes a decision: build or break, grow or stay stuck, fight or fold. And the greatest victories in life don't come from dramatic leaps. They come from disciplined minutes. A single focused hour can replace a week of scattered efforts. A single decision can reroute an entire future. And a single day used wisely can become the foundation of a legacy that outlives you. So let today be the day you start running out of time and start running your time like a champion. Let today be the day you make time your ally, your tool, your fuel, your weapon. Everyone receives 24 hours, regardless of wealth, status, or background. Your results come not from how much time you have, but from how powerfully you choose to use it. You don't need to do more, you need to do what matters. When your actions align with your purpose, even small steps create massive progress. Hesitation is where dreams die, the moment you move, no matter how imperfectly. You weaken fear's power and strengthen your own. Distraction is the thief of greatness. One concentrated hour is more valuable than 10 hours spent multitasking. Depth beats speed every time. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you in the fight. When you commit to your habits carve your future. You can't control the past, but you can choose how you show up today, and every today used wisely rewrites tomorrow. Time is the ultimate equalizer because it strips away every external advantage and forces all of us to operate from the same foundation 24 hours. No matter how wealthy, influential, educated, or connected someone is, they cannot buy more hours, pause the clock, rewind their mistakes, or fast forward their progress. Time is the one resource that does not bend to desire, power, or privilege. It moves with the same steady rhythm for everyone, and that alone makes it the most powerful truth in human life. Understanding this truth changes everything because it exposes the illusion that success belongs only to the lucky or the gifted. It reminds you that the difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is rooted not in their circumstances, but in how they choose to invest the hours they're given. When you acknowledge that your potential is measured by what you do within the same 24 hours everyone else has, you reclaim your power. You stop blaming the world and start shaping your world. Most people walk through life unconscious of how much time they waste. They drown in distractions, fall into habits of procrastination, and give their minutes to things that offer no return. They assume they have more time than they actually do. They treat days as disposable and years as inevitable, forgetting that time is not promised, it's simply available. Meanwhile, the people who create extraordinary outcomes treat each hour as an investment. They don't wait for motivation, they create structure. They don't chase after every opportunity, they choose the ones that align with their purpose. They don't let life decide for them. They take responsibility for how they spend their time because they know time spent is life spent. What you do with your time becomes the clearest reflection of what you value and who you are becoming. If you use it wisely, time multiplies your effort, compounds your growth, and rewards your persistence. If you waste it, time becomes a silent thief that steals potential, dreams, and confidence. The same hour that strengthens one person weakens another depending on how it is used. That's what makes time such an honest equalizer. It doesn't care about your past, your excuses, your intentions, or what you believe you deserve. It only responds to action. Time rewards discipline and punishes hesitation. It expands for those who challenge themselves and collapses for those who wait for life to happen. When you start seeing time through this lens, you stop comparing yourself with others because you realize comparison is meaningless. You're not competing against them. You're competing against your own use of time. The person who seems far ahead isn't necessarily better than you. They simply chose to use their hours differently. They made decisions you postponed. They practiced when you got distracted. They invested time when you spent it. And the remarkable thing is that the gap between where you are and where you want to be can shrink or widen depending entirely on your willingness to master your minutes. Every extraordinary transformation begins with a simple shift, the realization that you already possess the same raw material the greatest achievers in history were given. Time makes no exceptions. It does not bend for greatness. It produces greatness when used with passion, intention, and relentless commitment. Understanding this is the beginning of taking back control over your life, not by demanding more hours, but by honoring the hours you already have. Intention creates momentum because without a clear purpose, time becomes scattered and energy is wasted. Every action you take either moves you closer to your goals or keeps you spinning in place. And the difference lies in whether you act with focus and meaning. When you decide what truly matters and align your actions with that purpose, even the smallest steps generate a force that propels you forward. Momentum is not about speed alone, it's about direction. And intention provides the compass that ensures your efforts build upon each other rather than dissipate into noise. Without intention, people drift through life reacting to circumstances, responding to distractions, and letting other people's priorities dictate their day. They fill hours with activity but rarely see results because their energy is fragmented. The power of intention is that it transforms time from a passive flow into an active weapon, a tool that moves you closer to your potential with every deliberate choice. When you act with intention, every task becomes meaningful. Brushing your teeth, exercising, answering emails, or studying for hours only gains power when connected to a greater goal. Intention turns ordinary actions into building blocks for extraordinary outcomes. It's the difference between moving and moving forward. Momentum builds gradually, but it compounds exponentially. A single day of focused effort may not feel monumental, but repeated days with purpose stack on top of one another, creating unstoppable acceleration. People who understand this principle harness their energy in a way that produces visible, measurable progress, while those without intention spend years wondering why they never get ahead despite working hard. Momentum is the invisible force that turns small, consistent actions into results that look miraculous to an outside observer. But the secret lies in the deliberate choices made each day with intention at the center. Intention also acts as a filter, helping you decide what to embrace and what to ignore. Life is full of noise, demands, and opportunities, and not all of them deserve your attention. Without intention, you become a leaf blown by every wind, distracted by trivial matters that consume time without yielding progress. With intention, every decision is weighed against a standard. Does this action serve my purpose, or does it detract from it? This clarity allows you to conserve energy and focus on what truly matters, multiplying the impact of every hour spent. People with clear intentions understand that saying no is often more powerful than saying yes, because protecting your time is essential to maintaining momentum. Momentum fueled by intention also combats procrastination. The human brain is wired to avoid discomfort and delay effort when the reward seems distant, but intention bridges that gap. When you attach purpose to your actions, you create a reason strong enough to overcome resistance. You no longer need to rely solely on motivation, which fluctuates daily. Instead, your purpose becomes the engine that drives action, even on days when energy is low or distractions are high. The more consistent your intention-driven actions, the easier it becomes to maintain momentum, because each step forward builds confidence, reinforces habits, and creates a sense of inevitability about your progress. Intention transforms energy into results by giving your actions direction, focus, and meaning. It prevents wasted effort, amplifies productivity, and ensures that the passage of time contributes directly to growth. When you act with intention, you harness the invisible force of momentum, and every decision, every action, and every hour becomes a deliberate investment in the future you want to create. By aligning effort with purpose, momentum stops being random and starts being unstoppable, propelling you toward your goals faster than you ever imagined. Action is the antidote to fear, because fear thrives in inaction. When we hesitate, when we wait for the perfect moment, or for all conditions to be ideal, fear grows stronger. It feeds on doubt, uncertainty, and imagination, turning possibilities into paralyzing what-ifs. The longer we delay, the more intimidating challenges become in our minds, and the more our dreams shrink under the weight of imagined obstacles. Action, even imperfect action, shatters that illusion. When you move, when you step forward despite uncertainty, fear loses its power because it cannot survive in the presence of momentum. Each step you take is evidence that you are stronger than the anxiety trying to hold you back. Action transforms abstract fear into concrete experience, and experience always reveals that the worst-case scenarios you imagined are rarely as catastrophic as you believed. The act of doing teaches lessons that thinking, worrying, or overanalyzing never can. Most people wait for confidence to appear before they act, but confidence is not the cause of action. It is the result. You don't act because you feel fearless. You feel fearless because you act. The first step is always uncomfortable, intimidating, and often uncertain, but it is the step that begins to erode fear's grip. The paradox is that the more you move, the less fear controls you. Each action builds proof of your capability and resilience, giving you the courage to take the next step. Fear diminishes not by reasoning with it, not by hoping it will disappear, but by confronting it through deliberate action. People who achieve extraordinary results understand this principle intuitively. They recognize that fear is not a signal to stop, but a signal that something meaningful is on the other side. Action also creates momentum that fear cannot stop. When you act consistently, the very act of forward movement accumulates energy, habits, and confidence that push you past hesitation. Fear tries to paralyze you, but momentum makes resistance more difficult. The first step may feel small, but it triggers a chain reaction. One decision leads to another. One success reinforces your belief in your ability, and gradually what once seemed terrifying becomes manageable. By refusing to remain frozen, you prevent fear from establishing control over your life. Fear thrives in the unknown and inactivity, but every purposeful action illuminates the path ahead, reducing uncertainty and empowering decision. Making action also exposes the reality behind your fears. Often fear exaggerates consequences, inflates obstacles, and distorts probabilities. When you act, you gather information and experience firsthand what works and what doesn't. You replace imagination with reality, speculation with evidence, and anxiety with clarity. This clarity allows you to make better decisions, adjust your approach, and continue forward with increasing confidence. Even failures are reframed as lessons because action provides feedback that thought alone cannot generate. Fear diminishes when it is confronted with real-world experience because experience is tangible, measurable, and controllable, whereas fear is often imaginary and inflated. Moreover, action strengthens the mind, reinforcing courage and resilience over time. The more you do despite fear, the less intimidating challenges become. You build a record of proof that you are capable, that obstacles can be overcome, and that fear does not dictate your life. Action is a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. And with each act of courage, fear shrinks further, losing its ability to paralyze your potential. In this way, action is both a shield and a weapon. It protects you from the immobilizing effects of fear and simultaneously allows you to move forward and conquer the very challenges that once seemed insurmountable. The key principle is that fear exists to test, not to stop. It signals that you are about to stretch, grow, or step into something significant. But the moment you act, you claim power over fear. Action converts hesitation into progress, anxiety into experience, and doubt into confidence, creating a forward motion that fear cannot withstand. Focus turns minutes into mastery because without it, time becomes a scattered and diluted resource. Most people live their lives drifting from task to task, constantly distracted by notifications, interruptions, or the pull of multiple unfinished projects. They confuse activity with progress, assuming that being busy equates to moving forward. But real achievement comes from concentrated effort on what matters most. When you focus, every minute becomes purposeful. You direct your energy toward the highest leverage actions, the tasks that truly drive results, and the moments that shape your skills, habits, and outcomes. Focus is the lens that magnifies your effort, transforming ordinary time into a force capable of creating excellence. The human brain is wired for distraction, but mastery demands deliberate attention. Multitasking may feel productive, but in reality, it fragments your cognitive energy and reduces the quality of your output. 1 hour spent on focused effort produces far greater results than 10 hours scattered across multiple directions. Focus allows you to go deeper, to understand nuances, to refine skills, and to produce work that has substance rather than superficiality. It turns repetition into expertise because each focused minute compounds upon the last, building proficiency that is nearly impossible to achieve without sustained attention. People who reach extraordinary levels in any field understand this principle intuitively. They deliberately protect their time from distraction. They cultivate environments that enhance concentration, and they commit themselves fully to the tasks that matter. Focus also allows for the acceleration of learning. When your attention is concentrated on a single objective or skill, your brain is better able to process information, recognize patterns, and integrate knowledge. Shallow engagement may lead to familiarity, but deep focus leads to mastery. Practice without attention is wasted effort, but practice combined with focus transforms potential into capability. Mastery is not an accident. It is the result of deliberate, repetitive, and concentrated application of time toward a specific goal. Each focus session builds upon the last, and momentum emerges not from mere activity, but from directed, disciplined, and intentional effort. Distraction is one of the greatest thieves of time and potential. Social media, notifications, interruptions, and endless multitasking scatter energy and fragment attention. Every time you shift focus, your brain experiences a cognitive cost, reducing efficiency and creating fatigue. Without control over attention, hours slip away without meaningful progress, and talent or opportunity alone cannot compensate. Focus creates a protective barrier against these losses, allowing your mind to engage fully with the task at hand and extract maximum value from every minute. It turns fleeting time into a tool for growth, skill development, and results. Focus also strengthens discipline and resilience. Concentrating on one task at a time requires you to resist temptation, postpone gratification, and prioritize long-term results over immediate satisfaction. Each act of concentrated effort strengthens your ability to sustain attention in future endeavors. Over time, this practice creates a compounding effect. The more you train your mind to focus, the easier it becomes to maintain flow states, solve complex problems, and achieve goals that once seemed out of reach. Focus transforms not only what you accomplish, but who you become, shaping your habits, character, and capacity for sustained achievement. In addition, focus amplifies the impact of deliberate action. It converts hours into measurable results and transforms effort into mastery. When you protect your attention, prioritize high-value tasks, and invest your energy in deep engagement, every minute becomes an opportunity to build skills, create outcomes, and edge closer to your ultimate goals. Without focus, time drifts away unnoticed, but with focus, time becomes a precise instrument that produces excellence, allowing you to turn ordinary hours into extraordinary results and scattered effort into a trajectory of mastery. Discipline is your daily weapon because it determines whether your intentions, goals, and efforts are transformed into tangible results. Motivation alone is fleeting. It comes and goes with emotions, circumstances, or external triggers, but discipline is what keeps you moving when enthusiasm fades. It's the internal structure that ensures you show up, perform, and persist even when the task is difficult, inconvenient, or uncomfortable. Discipline turns your plans into actions, your actions into habits, and your habits into outcomes. Without it, even the clearest purpose or greatest talent can be wasted because consistency is what compounds effort over time, and discipline is the force that maintains that consistency. Most people overestimate the power of instant and underestimate the value of routine. They wait for the perfect mood, the perfect day, or the perfect moment to take action, believing that success is born from rare bursts of energy. In reality, progress is made in the ordinary, repetitive, and disciplined choices that are executed day after day. It is the person who commits to showing up, practicing, learning, and improving consistently who ultimately achieves extraordinary results. Discipline provides the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be by ensuring that action continues regardless of circumstances, emotions, or obstacles. Discipline also protects your time, attention, and energy from the constant pull of distractions. In a world filled with interruptions, temptations, and noise, the ability to remain disciplined creates a clear advantage. By structuring your day, prioritizing high-value tasks, and resisting impulses that do not serve your long-term goals, you leverage your time as a weapon rather than allowing it to slip away. Each disciplined decision, waking up early, following a schedule, completing a task before procrastinating, resisting unnecessary indulgences, compounds over weeks, months, and years into mastery, productivity, and results that appear effortless from the outside but are the product of relentless self-control. Discipline is also the engine of habit formation, and habits are the foundation of success. When actions are repeated consistently, they become automatic, reducing reliance on willpower and freeing mental energy for higher level thinking and problem solving. The disciplined person does not rely solely on bursts of motivation. They design systems, enforce routines, and cultivate behaviors that produce results even when emotion or interest is low. Habits created through discipline are self-reinforcing. Each small act of consistency builds confidence, strengthens character, and sets the stage for increasingly ambitious achievements. Without discipline, even the most intelligent strategies or promising opportunities can fail because the necessary follow-through is missing. Furthermore, discipline builds resilience in the face of challenges. Life is unpredictable and setbacks are inevitable, but discipline ensures that progress does not depend on perfect conditions. It allows you to persist through discomfort, fatigue, doubt, and obstacles, turning adversity into growth. The disciplined individual continues to act, refine, and advance even when circumstances are unfavorable, creating momentum that fear, distraction, or temporary setbacks cannot easily stop. This consistency over time produces mastery, credibility, and the ability to achieve goals that would be unattainable for someone who relies solely on fleeting motivation or luck. Discipline also multiplies the effectiveness of all other principles. It transforms intention into action, focus into results, and learning into expertise. Without discipline, even the clearest purpose, strongest focus, or greatest skill can dissipate into wasted potential. With discipline, however, every day becomes an opportunity to build, improve, and advance toward your vision. It is the invisible force that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement, the quiet engine that drives long-term success, and the weapon that allows you to harness time, energy, and ability into measurable, lasting outcomes. Every day is a new battle and a new opportunity because life does not wait, and neither should you. Each sunrise presents a blank canvas, a chance to reset, refocus, and realign your actions with your goals. The past cannot be changed and the future is uncertain, but today, this very moment, is entirely within your control. Recognizing this truth empowers you to take responsibility for your life instead of blaming circumstances, people, or events. Every day holds the potential to move closer to your vision or to drift further away, and the choice is always yours. The person who understands the value of each day treats it with urgency, purpose, and respect, knowing that consistent effort compounds into remarkable results over time. Most people fail to see the power of a single day because they focus too much on the enormity of their long-term goals. They feel overwhelmed by the distance between where they are and where they want to be, and they procrastinate or rationalize inaction. The reality is that success is not achieved in a single leap, but through the accumulation of focused, purposeful actions taken daily. One day of intentional effort may seem small, but repeated daily, these efforts create momentum that carries you forward faster than any sporadic burst of energy. Each day is a chance to strengthen habits, refine skills, and build the character necessary to handle greater challenges in the future. Treating each day as a battle also instills discipline and resilience. Life presents obstacles, distractions, and setbacks, and the ability to face each day with determination separates those who succeed from those who falter. Viewing the day as an opportunity to fight for your goals encourages proactive behavior rather than passive waiting. It forces you to prioritize, to take action even when conditions are not ideal, and to maintain consistency despite discomfort or fatigue. This mindset transforms ordinary routines into powerful instruments of growth, and it ensures that setbacks are temporary rather than defining. Each day also provides feedback and learning. The choices you make, the actions you take, and the results you observe give you real-time information about what works and what does not. By reflecting on these experiences, you can adjust your approach, optimize your strategies, and improve continuously. The person who treats every day as a chance to act, learn, and grow gains an advantage that accumulates exponentially. Even small improvements made consistently compound over time, creating results that may seem miraculous to outsiders but are the natural outcome of disciplined daily effort. Opportunities often present themselves in small, subtle ways, and the individual who is prepared to seize them recognizes the importance of being present, alert, and engaged each day. Waiting for perfect conditions, ideal circumstances, or a clear sign only leads to missed chances. By treating each day as a battlefield, you position yourself to act decisively when opportunities appear, turning ordinary moments into pivotal breakthroughs. This awareness cultivates a sense of urgency, focus, and adaptability that is critical for achieving high-level success. Finally, the understanding that every day is a new opportunity fosters gratitude, presence, and intentionality. It reminds you that time is finite, that every hour matters, and that your actions today shape your future self. When you wake up each day with a mindset of purpose and readiness, you harness the power of time itself, transforming minutes into momentum and effort into achievement. This perspective ensures that you do not squander the most valuable resource you have, your life, and encourages you to make every day count, to fight for your goals relentlessly, and to seize the opportunities that each new day provides with focus, courage, and commitment.